Hi there, this is Lee McQueen, and I'm speaking once more on public affairs of the day. And I just wanted to mention that there are things that someone should not do under FBI scrutiny. Hillary Clinton announced that when she was in Orlando. But I'm wondering if Hillary Clinton knows what not to do while she's under FBI scrutiny. Um, I think it's really important for Hillary Clinton to know that while under FBI scrutiny, it's a really bad idea to engage in racketeering and corruption of public officials. I wonder if anyone's told her that. It might be good for someone to kind of whisper that in her ear. And I say that because we've seen Hillary Clinton all this primary season tell lies about the FBI. And I'm wondering if she knows if that's not a good idea either. She claimed that the FBI was conducting a security inquiry, then a security review, which were lies. And so she's lied on the FBI. And I wonder if she thinks that that's a good idea to do while they're scrutinizing her. Anyway, the FBI corrected her and said it was an investigation. And then Judge Sullivan even corrected that further, and the White House corrected that. The White House press secretary corrected Hillary Clinton's lies and told the nation that it was a criminal investigation that she was under. So not just any type of scrutiny or a security review, she's under criminal investigation by the FBI. So I don't know if she knows that. The words haven't actually, criminal investigation haven't come out of her mouth. We had to learn that from other people. She may be in denial or something, or there's some cognitive dissonance going on. So maybe someone should tell her what's actually happening to her. We know that voters were attacked by Hillary Clinton's machine all throughout this primary season. We know that they were attacked, and this is while she was under FBI criminal investigation. So the arrogance is astounding, but it may be her downfall. We know about the election fraud, the rigging, the suppression, the purging of voters, the lies and misdirection by poll workers, the purging of voters by state election officials. We're also beginning to know about the bribery, blackmail, racketeering, and the corruption of these public officials because Hillary Clinton was not alone. She didn't do this by herself. She had help. She had a network. She had a machine. And I wonder if Hillary Clinton has been told by anyone that in this day and age of the Patriot Act, which she voted for not once but twice, that money wires, wire transfers of money are traceable. The money that was wired from Hillary Clinton to Brian Pagliano to set up her criminal, evil email server of destruction, he was wired money, and it's been traced. So that's proof and that's evidence. So if Hillary Clinton wired you money to commit these acts of crime against the voters who wanted to vote, you might want to be careful. Hillary Clinton is not the Democrat nominee. She thinks she is, but she's not. Someone might want to, again, remind her of what's true because I don't think she knows anymore. Hillary Clinton is not the Democrat nominee. She's presumed by the mainstream media because the mainstream media refuses to admit that she's under criminal investigation as well. So it's basically the mainstream media who's presuming that she is going to be the Democrat nominee. Other people who are keeping track of her criminal investigation are viewing that with a lot more skepticism. They're viewing that as propaganda that it is. These journalists that are spreading these lies and these tales and this misdirection, that's propaganda. That's not journalism. You're not journalist anymore. You failed in journalism. You don't have any ethics left. So you're propaganda. You're no longer journalist. Hillary Clinton did not win this election, or the primary election. She's not the Democrat nominee. She still doesn't have sufficient delegates. She fell short. Even with all that criminal activity and the mainstream media acting as her propaganda machine and her superdelegates acting as her firewall, which she purchased and bribed with, right, this is Hillary, so who knows? But she purchased those superdelegates with her donations from the Hillary Fund to their state Democrat committees. She purchased them. So even with all those advantages, she still fell short. Even with all that cheating and criminality, she still couldn't pull it off. Bernie Sanders was just too good. He could not be ignored. And the people saw in him something that they felt this country needed, and they voted for him. Bernie Sanders won, and we know that. It's being proved in California. They are counting those ballots. All the ballots that were provisional, that were damaged, that were mail-in, they're being counted, and they're trending towards Bernie Sanders now. We've seen a slowdown in the count, but they're still being counted, and they're flipping towards Bernie. So that margin, that healthy margin in two of our most populous states, California and New York, were due to racketeering. That's how that was pulled off. And we know that now, not from our mainstream media. We're learning it from each other. If you go to a website called www.trustvote, one word, trustvote.org, it's all spelled out, trustvote.org. And there are two lawyers, election lawyers, and then an IT person who are on that case. And they're filing lawsuits, federal lawsuits under the RICO Act to address this criminality. So not only is the FBI scrutinizing Hillary Clinton, there's also election fraud federal lawsuits going forward to scrutinize the entire process of what happened, the irregularities that happened in at least 11 states. California and New York, Arizona, and all states in between, at least 11 of them in total. Like I said before, July 25th, when the superdelegates finally cast their votes, because they haven't cast a single vote yet, July 25th is when they cast their votes. Until then, Hillary Clinton is not the nominee. They have not voted for her. She didn't have enough pledged delegates to pull it off herself. Neither does Bernie Sanders. So neither Bernie Sanders nor Hillary Clinton can actually win until and unless and when and if the superdelegates vote for one or the other, July 25th through 28th. She's presumed by the mainstream media, who have been using propaganda to encourage that lie. It's not the truth, so it's a lie. Maybe it's a fantasy, but it's definitely not the truth. It's not reality. She has not won. We know about the criminal behavior. Individual voters have been watching all of this during the primary season. They've been sending in their data that they've collected, their proof and their documentation of crimes being committed against them by state election officials, by poll workers. They've been keeping track of their registration and their voter registration cards and their party affiliations. They've been keeping track of that. They've been sending it in, and Trust Vote has been collecting all that information. Times, dates, places, names, titles, lies, misdirections, all that's being kept track of. The machine may have fooled people once, but now they're keeping track. I don't know if they'll be fooled again. Shame on Hillary Clinton, but it's not going to be shame on the electors the second time. It's becoming a criminal case now. And what's happening at the polls during this down ballot voting season, that's evidence. People are collecting evidence now, and they're sending it in. They're compiling it. So we know that Hillary Clinton was not alone. We know that people helped her. And we know that a lot of them didn't do it just out of the kindness of their heart. Many of them were compensated in various ways. Maybe they were promised things that Hillary may or may not be able to deliver until and unless and when and if the superdelegates vote her into office. So down ballot voting is going to be happening in 4 states, at least 4 states on June 28th. And I'm specifying those 4 states because in those 4 states there are Bernie-crats, Bernie-leaning people who want to go into office or to keep their office if they're incumbents. They have progressive agendas similar to Bernie Sanders. So they still need people to come out to the polls. So if you voted in those states and you're not sure whether or not your vote's going to count, or if Hillary Clinton's machine is going to attack you again, I'm saying don't be afraid. Go to the polls and go ready. Take your camera phone, take your pen and paper, get the name of the election officials that are working with you, the poll workers, get their titles, get the time and date of your entry into the polls. Be prepared. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, and collect your evidence if you feel you need to, if something goes wrong. Because people are watching now. We know what happened the first time. We know what happened to the people who went to the polls the first time, because word spread. Through the power of the internet, word spread about what Hillary Clinton's machine was doing. So we know that people didn't get confused or they decided they were too lazy to vote. We know that's not what happened. Everyone told their stories and warned each other. So we know that crimes were committed. But don't be afraid. Hillary's under FBI scrutiny, and she's likely not the only one. If someone tries to steal your vote and your voice, take your evidence and then send it into TrustVote, trustvote.org. The link is going to be in the description, so we can just keep building a stronger case. But the more that time goes by, the closer we get to the superdelegate primary, the worse the trail of crimes seems to get. The longer, the deeper the pile grows. And Hillary Clinton is sinking deeper into that pile because people know what she's done, and they know what she's bribed and blackmailed and corrupted other people into doing for her. So don't be afraid to come out to vote. In Colorado, New York, Oklahoma, and Utah on June 28th, definitely send those Bernie-crats into office. And I say that because if you do give up, if you do stay at home, if you do just decide to drop out of the political process altogether, that doesn't mean that other people are. The people that you, the very people that you want to vote against, the conservative, right-wing, or even establishment, so-called liberal agenda is to keep you down. They're going to go to the polls. Those people are going to go to the polls. So if you're progressive, you're going to have to get back up and keep fighting, fight the power, and go back to the polls and vote again and again and again. Hillary Clinton built that maze that she can't get through, and it's coming down this summer. She is not the Democrat nominee. She has won nothing. She is certainly not the president, and someone needs to tell her that, because I don't think she knows. But yes, make sure that you go back to the polls and vote for the people that you want to see in office. Don't let anyone steal your voice, and don't give up. And if they do, then tell TrustVote. Good luck.